Hey folks, good morning. How are we all doing today? It is Sunday, August 29th, 2021, and today I wanted to go for a bit of a change of scenery, you could say. So right now, my first stop that I'm over at is the Powell Creek Preserve. Powell Creek is a main waterway that runs through the area of Fort Myers, Florida. So now you could say that I am in Lee County. But the purpose of the video that I wanted to point out was what we're basically looking at is something called a filter marsh. So, point in fact, part of this actually was man-made. But it was man-made with the purpose of habitat restoration. So, you may be wondering, what exactly is a filter marsh? Well, you kind of have to break it up in two different aspects. So, one is a filter, right? So, a filter is mostly designed to collect any sediments, pollutants, solid metals, and even excess nutrients from the water. Think of like our water filters that we have at home. It's a way to help us purify the water that we drink. But in this case, the water is filtered for the habitat. So actually, as a matter of fact, you see that structure right there? That's actually a filter, basically. So any water that comes in through the Powell Creek, like after a rainstorm or something, the water is literally pumped through that filter so that the water has a chance to more or less get cleaned. But then we've got the marsh, which is essentially this watery habitat that we see ahead of us. Marshes typically have water year-round most of the time, or depending on how dry it gets, some marshes can actually get very dry too. But majority of the year, these are usually filled with water. But usually a marsh, it's basically like a wetland. In a sense, marsh is a type of wetland, but oftentimes marshes can either have salt water, fresh water, or even brackish water. But yeah, essentially this particular filter marsh that we do see was indeed man-made. At one point, part of this ground was dug up so that this could be sort of like a reservoir for any extra water. Because you have to think, with rapid development that's happened, especially in this part of Florida, there is a lot more impervious surface. Impervious is basically just another way of saying water really has no way of penetrating into the ground, mostly because of things such as concrete. So, in this case, since they realized how much flooding can happen due to rapid development, the county essentially wanted to invest their money into having a preserve like this so that there could be flood reduction and also a reduction in excess nutrients as well, because essentially these act as filters. But yeah, so far though, it actually really is a neat spot. Actually, I don't know how well you guys can really see it. I wish I could show it like really close to you guys. I could actually provide a picture in my post later on. But on this right here, on that particular willow, it looks like there are some snail eggs that actually belong to the invasive apple snail. They're kind of like pinkish in color, Kind of reminds you of looking at maybe like cotton candy, for example. But those guys are actually native to parts of South America, so like Brazil, for example. But they don't belong here. And part of the reason they were really introduced to the area was mostly through transportation, like in the form of boats. They basically clinged on to the boat, and then eventually they made their way over here. However, though, good news is we've got the trying to remember the name. It'll come to me. But there is a particular bird that actually feeds on those invasive apple snail eggs, which in a sense actually really is a good thing. I'll put it in the description. The name is like, it's not there at the, it's basically at the tip of my tongue. I bet like probably after this video is done I'll remember the name. But either way, I'll put it in a description for you guys. But yeah, just want to provide you guys a little view of this place. It's pretty cool. I like it. I actually noticed as I was walking up here, it looks like they talk a bit about gopher tortoises. You know, gopher tortoises deserve the love too. It basically talks about like what they really provide burrows for. They're essentially described as a keystone species, as their burrows that they dig are used by our other fellow homies that reside in Florida. But yeah, this is cool. But yeah. It's crazy to think originally this was going to be like a mobile home community, but that changed 20 some years ago. So instead, we have a glimpse of this beauty right here. So alright, you guys, thought I would share that with all of you. Hope you learned something of value. And once again, thank you for watching, and go on about. Enjoy your Sunday. So, once again, Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.